So in the mornings, Zoe likes to have a book read to her before school, and we just dropped her off at school, and this was the book we chose today from Little Grasshopper Books. And see if you can tell me what's missing. This is Joseph. Joseph is a shepherd. He's Dad's favorite. Dad gives him this nice, pretty, colorful coat. Brothers are still jealous. Joseph has dreams that his brothers are going to bow down to him. Has two of them, in fact. They're real jealous. They are trying to decide, do we kill him or do we sell him into slavery? Well, they decide they're going to sell him into slavery. So he's sold into slavery in Egypt. They bloody up his coat and tear up his coat and take it to Dad and tell him a wild animal's killed their brother. Dad is so sad. Meanwhile, okay, that's where we're at here in the book. Okay. Meanwhile, Joseph's sold into slavery in Egypt. He's in prison for like 2 years. Some servants of Pharaoh are thrown in prison with him. They have dreams. He interprets those dreams. One servant's going to get killed. The other one's going to get his job back. Sure enough, that's exactly what happens. Nothing's said about this until like 2 years later. The Pharaoh is having dreams that no one can interpret. And the cupbearer's like, hey, Pharaoh, I know a guy. And so Pharaoh sends for Joseph to be brought out of the prison and brought to him. And Joseph tells him, these are not my words. This is not my interpretation. This is God. And Pharaoh tells him about his dreams, and Joseph said, hey, for 7 years, you're going to have plenty. You're going to have feasting. And then 7 years following that, you're going to have famine. You better figure it out. And Pharaoh says, hey, Joseph, since you interpreted my dreams for me, you seem like a wise man. You figure it out. And so that's what Joseph does. So for 7 years, while they're in plenty, Joseph collects all the excess grain, all the excess food. All the grain is stored up outside every city. And we're 2 years then into the famine, and Joseph is making sure everybody's fed. Egypt is selling grain to the lands surrounding them. And this is where Joseph's brothers come into play, because Jacob, his father, sends his brothers down into Egypt to buy grain, and they go to Joseph, and they do in fact bow down to him. And Joseph talks real hateful to him, but he sends them home with grain and their silver. But he keeps one of his brothers hostage. He demands that they bring his youngest brother, who he's never met, to meet him. They still don't know that he's their brother, and they do. And so they have to like argue with Dad about it, but they bring Benjamin down to see him. And so then when they come the second time, they feast. Joseph finally admits that, hey, you're my brothers. I forgive you for the things that you have done. He is overcome with emotion. And he says, hey, bring Dad here. You know, bring him to Egypt where he can be cared for. The Pharaoh has heard about all this. The Pharaoh is well pleased with Joseph. He says, bring your family here, your whole family. He makes sure they're well provisioned. I'll make sure they have plenty. And that's great. And they do. And then the Bible continues on discussing the line of Jacob. And the whole moral of the story is, you know, Joseph is sold into slavery. He is given these dreams by God. He is obedient to God, and he interprets God, you know, these dreams, with the power of God, and he forgives his brothers, even though they did this horrible thing to him, because it was the hand of God. And yes, Nick Coble, I know we just talked about forgiveness. Don't start with me. But back to Little Grasshopper Books. Just bloody coat, giving it to Jacob, right? Here's how it ends. After many years in Egypt, Joseph meets his family again. He forgives them, and is again part of his family. Like, what? Yeah,